Hey there, it's another beautiful day. Today, we're going to talk about aliens in the ocean. Let's watch some stuff.
All the alien UFOs aren't coming from the sky, they're coming from the ocean.
I've been trying to tell people that's the next direction that they're going to start pushing. This is going to be in the ocean. UFOs going into the water, coming up out of the water. There's going to be a big emphasis on the ocean, and that's going to bring about a whole other speculatory discussion with theories of extraterrestrial bases underneath the water, and fuels more theories and more speculation. People don't really want the answers to any of this stuff. That is what I found. They don't want the answers, because if the question is answered and people know what it is and know what's going on, then that completely shuts down the entire community.
I absolutely love the idea that aliens are coming from the ocean. Hello, why not, right? There's so much of it, and so much of it we've not explored. It's like, 70% of our Earth is covered in water, and we've only explored 5% of the ocean, and it's always been 5%. It's never been more than 5%, which is weird, because when I was a kid, they're like, oh yeah, we've only explored 5%, and still to this day, they're like, oh, we've only explored 5%. What's hiding in the other 95% of the ocean? We don't know. Why can't it be aliens? Maybe they didn't travel hundreds of millions of light years to get here. Maybe they were already here in the water. Hey, if you're having a good time and you enjoy hearing my son playing Mortal Kombat in the background, go ahead and hit that like button for me. If this is your kind of content, won't you consider subscribing and then come back tomorrow? Because I'm making a new video every day. No matter what's going on back here. I don't care. I'm still doing it.
You know, there's an underwater base off the coast of California. Let me show it to you. So you go on the Google Earth, you look for California. It's over by Santa Monica, Santa Barbara, one of those Santas, and it's not that far out. And you look, it's got a flat top, but on the bottom, there's an entranceway. On the bottom, going out towards the ocean. Now look on the other side, no entranceway. Normal thing, but except it's raised. There's an entranceway. That's some kind of base. I'm not saying it's an alien base. It could be a military base. And this base does explain some stuff. Yeah, having a base there makes a lot of sense. Because the state of California has a huge amount of UFO sightings, especially near their military bases. But what does that have to do with an underwater base in the ocean? Well, let me show you again. Maybe there's so many UFO sightings in California and the West Coast because they're coming from that base. Oh yeah, see? And I'm not necessarily saying they're alien. Maybe the UFO sightings like this one, near military bases, are actually government vehicles. Oh yeah. And where would those government vehicles come from where no one could find them? Well, an underwater base off the coast of California sure would be convenient. Shabadoo booshkis, shabadoo.
I saw a whole bunch of clips about that underwater structure, whatever it is. And then I saw this guy and I was like, nope, he's in. He's the one. And I didn't know that he was going to allude to the fact that it's possible that that's, part of our little military underwater base stuff going on. That's cool. But then I found something extremely interesting. Watch this.
Do you remember the rumors of an underwater alien base being located just off the California coast near Malibu? And what was crazy is that you could even find it for yourself by checking out Google Maps. But you can't anymore, because that area has apparently been scrubbed. But of course, pictures of this structure still exist on the internet. And thanks to Ripley Cooks, we even have recent video of this anomaly. Whether it's a massive underwater alien base or just a really strange underwater geographical structure is unknown. But what is known is that it's 2,000 feet underwater and approximately 3 miles wide. And it appeared to have an array of columns that were supporting a giant dome. But now it's just a big blurry mess. And the changes of this area on Google Maps comes within days of Rear Admiral Tim Gallaudet publishing his white paper titled Beneath the Surface. We may learn more about UAP by looking in the ocean. A paper in which he states that 71% of the Earth's surface is covered in water, but only 25% of the seabed has been mapped to modern standards. and only 5% of the total volume of the world's ocean has been explored. So we know more about the surface of Mars and the Moon than we do about our own ocean. And if we begin to explore our oceans in hopes of finding more evidence of UAPs, or in this case USOs, unidentified submerged objects, a byproduct of that effort is that we would learn a lot more about our planet and be better off because of it. And as a nation, it would potentially close any domain awareness gaps we have in the water. And that's why I think we should definitely be paying more attention to the underwater aspect of the phenomenon.
I don't know about you, but I certainly am thinking that Mr. Cheesehead was onto something. That looks like a military base, right? Not that it looks like it, but the way that they covered it up. Like they just got in touch with Google Earth and they're like, hey, we need to blur this part out. People are catching on. Right. So yeah, we definitely do need to pay a little more attention to our ocean. And like I said, there's still that 5%. That's all that we've explored, 5%. 5%. So we got some working to do. But what are we going to find? Okay, you know how much I don't like to say negative things about alien stuff because I'm all about it, you know? I'm probably like 30-70. 70% I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. That is real. This kind of falls in the 30% because it's just, it didn't do it for me.
The most famous of the alleged underwater extraterrestrial bases exists off the coast of Ciudad Madero, a medium-sized city in the extreme southern part of the Mexican state of Tamaulipas, on the Gulf of Mexico just south of Texas. This alien base has a name, Amupac, and has been visited by at least one person, a local man named Juan Carlos Ramon Lopez Diaz. Lopez is the head of a group called the Association for Scientific UFO Investigation of Tamaulipas, an organization of a few dozen members which investigates UFO phenomena in northeastern Mexico.
Cool. Mexico's got underwater aliens too.
Purse, her little pocketbook, whatever she had there, she gave me a little diagram that she had drawn some figures of some arms and a face and so on. She told me that this is what, was what was in those, that it was a crash. It wasn't an airplane, but they didn't know what it was. She explained it in the way she drew it, that the heads were somewhat larger than a human heads. The hands were long, no thumbs. They were just the long, very delicate fingers at the end of, on the underside at the tip of each finger was a pad-like, maybe a little pad, but it looked like the skin had maybe little suction, like the little suction cups.
According to the information that was with this clip, he's referring to the Amupac base, which we just talked about in the previous video in the Gulf of Mexico. And they had 4 fingers and no opposable thumbs, which is probably why they ended up developing suction cups on the ends of those, because you got to pick stuff up, right? Versus having an opposable thumb, I guess. I don't know if that necessarily means they're from underwater, but I like it.
Alaska Triangle, known for its deep waters down to a staggering 26,000 feet, the perfect place for an underwater alien base. There have been many reports over the past few decades of unidentified underwater objects.
These UFOs have been tracked underwater and stayed underwater for a long time, evaded the Navy, and they go so deep that we don't know where they're. I am very convinced that there's some kind of base underwater.
According to my sources, there are extraterrestrial bases under the water off the coast of Alaska. It's the perfect place for extraterrestrials to set up underwater bases. You have 33,000 miles of untapped coast and over 3 million lakes.
In 1969, Dan Willis, a naval communications operator, decoded a secret message detailing a jaw-dropping UFO sighting.
I was a certified high-speed code operator, type of thing. I worked at the code room, the Naval Communications Station in San Francisco. I received a secret priority message from a ship that was off the coast of Alaska. The crew reported a brightly glowing reddish-orange elliptical object approximately 70 feet in diameter that emerged out of the ocean and then shot straight up into space. The radar operator tracked the blips going in excess of 7,000 miles per hour. I have to admit, for a second, I was thinking of taking this secret message, make a copy of it, but I knew if I did, I'd be facing 10 years in prison, so I had a second thought.
The incident left him with more questions than answers, prompting him to hunt for more sightings across Alaska's ocean. Dan uncovered multiple similar reports of disc-shaped objects emerging from the ocean near Alaska. One such report from 1945 describes an encounter with a large round object that rose from the sea near the Aleutian Islands in Alaska. The object, estimated to be 150 to 200 feet wide, circled a ship, leaving the crew both mesmerized and uneasy.
They witnessed a UFO come up out of the water that was 150 to 200 feet wide, and it started circling the boat.
1945. It was on its own propulsion system, wasn't affected by the wind, the sailors said.
It circled around the ship 2 or 3 times.
All 14 members of the crew witnessed this and reported this when they got back to shore.
Mysteriously, the top-secret report compiled by the crew never saw the light of day.
All the reports that I've researched through, people see things coming up under the ocean and they shoot off at tremendous speeds.
Alaska, a land of breathtaking beauty and home to some of the deepest waters on Earth. A fact that might make you pause and wonder what could be lurking in those mysterious depths.
Now, we've all heard of the Bermuda Triangle. I'd never heard of the Alaska Triangle. I mean, it's not the same. We're not having the same kind of issues happening. There's not like planes and ships and stuff going down. Instead, apparently, they're coming up out of the water. And it's not our ships and our planes. It's the alien ones. Which is really cool. It's super cool.
Ще специальний?
Ей, країня. Galėsim nusiųsti mamai šitą.
Lemba, atrodo, kad čia specialiai. Tikrai specialiai.
I have no explanation for that. That was pretty cool. I mean, I was looking really close to see if it would, they were actually splashing. And they showed where it came from and they were just blip, 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 blip. That was pretty freaking cool. Yeah, that's neat. Oh, okay. I had another video. I'm going to see if I can find it again. It's not quite the same as what this could possibly be, but maybe it's something along the lines. It'll be like no time to you, but it's going to take me a few minutes. So, here it is. See that? It just out like a little ball. And that's probably what the other ones were, right? They're just pew, 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 little balls. That's what's happening. And they're going into the water because that's maybe it's their eggs or something. I don't know, but it looked pretty good. That was pretty good. I'm going to file that under the 70% of, yeah, that totally happened. Now, but the round one, the silver orbs, I've heard that those are like surveillance drones. So that's probably what it was doing. It was probably just dispatching its surveillance drone. Or maybe it was laying an egg. On that note, I'm going to call it for today. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. Come on back tomorrow. We're going to watch some new stuff. I'll say different things. It's going to be fantastic. Until then, have a wonderful day.